Hello ladies, and welcome back to my channel. This is JAKS Journey, where I am JAKS and I make videos about my journey through infertility, IVF, adoption, and now parenting. So today I want to share with you my adoption book haul. I decided to go on a little bit of a shopping mission because one, we're stuck in quarantine and what else am I going to do? And second, because none of the books in Evangeline's library talked about adoption in any sense of the word, and I knew it was really important to kind of get that normalized and make sure it's not just a one-off book, like that she understands that adoption happens all the time and in a bunch of different ways. And so I went on a little internet search and found all of these used, actually, which I love. You know me, I like to reduce waste, reuse when I can. So I found these adoption books and I want to go through them really quick, talk just a smidge about their story, what kind of adoption they talk about, and whether or not it was a hit or miss for me, because I certainly didn't particularly like them all. Let's start with a Crazy Much Love, because the illustrations in this one are absolutely gorgeous. And this one goes through an international adoption. You can see their little baby waiting in the orphanage and then painting their nursery. Don't worry, not gonna read them all to you. But I like this one because it talks about the waiting process and them having to go and get her, but it also talks about her growing up and their love for her not changing, like they loved her that much from the beginning. And I like it because then the child can kind of look back and be like, well, mom and dad loved me this much, like they understand right now, and then to link it back and like show that they've loved him that much since the very beginning before they even met, I think is really pretty. And like I said, the illustrations in this are gorgeous. Here, let me show you one. You can see it there. There we go. Yeah, I really love the illustration style of this one. So A Crazy Much Love by Joy Jordan Lake is definitely a hit for me. Oh, and I'll leave these all linked down below so you can go snag them if you want. The next one is A Mother for Choco, or at least that's how I say it, Choco. Is that how you're supposed to say that? That's how Evangeline's gonna learn it. So essentially this one is about a little bird that goes around to all these different animals and asks if they can be the little bird's mom, and for one reason or another they say no because they don't look the same. And eventually it goes back to the bear, and the mama bear is like, your mama isn't who looks like you, it's who you know, loves you. I like this one because A, it's a hardcover board book, so she can have it right now, but also because it's animals, it takes away kind of some of that literal sense of race from right at the beginning, but it definitely gets across the point that even if you don't have the characteristics of mom and dad, it also talks about things, or it could lead to conversations about other things, like hair, eye color, or just you could really take this generic story and apply it to your situation, which I really like, and it's very sweet and I love it. And it also, the bird starts out sad. So some of these adoption books, like a lot of the theme is like love and joy and happiness, and anyone where they actually touch on the parents being sad waiting or the kids being sad about missing home, I really like that too, because it gives a little bit more depth and realism, because you're going to try to use these as talking points to have deeper conversations in the future. So A Mother for Choco, like it. So quick interlude here. I was sitting down to get all the links for all the books I like, and I realized I had missed one. So this is I've Loved You Since Forever, and it's another board book, so she's able to have it now, which is why it was out and about and not in my stack of books. But it's a really cute, fanciful little book with gorgeous illustrations. And it just goes through all the things that you've loved them since. It's the bees were buzzing and the stars were shining. And the whole thing has this metaphor of, you know, they're one star and your baby, or you're one star and your baby's another one. And eventually you come together and you get to be a little family. Sorry, I couldn't leave this one off the list because it's too cute and it is perfect, I don't know, to start out with, to not get in all the nitty-gritty details. I know I go on in this video to say like how much I love these realistic ones, but this is one of the kind of fanciful ones I actually liked. So back to sit down times. Let's get this one out of the way because I did not enjoy this one I had hopes for it because the illustration style was really unique. I'm like, oh, maybe this is cool. But Born from the Heart, not my fave. And maybe I'm being too harsh on this book, but they show pictures of the mom having this literal like big heart, and they show like ultrasounds of the baby being in the heart. And I think, I get that it's meant to be like a metaphor, like you've always been in my heart, and other books use that language, but I think combining it with the illustrations like showing the baby in her heart could be really confusing when you're trying to explain that the baby didn't grow in you. Like, speaking from my perspective, like eventually like that has to be part of the story, is like she didn't grow in me, she grew in her birth mom. So having pictures like that is really confusing, I think. Cute story and everything, but I didn't like the execution of that one. Loved this one. Mother Bridge of Love. And even though it's about an international adoption, I think it has a really good style to it. It puts everything in these like couplings of sentences where one talks about what the first mother gave her and what her mama gave her. So that she talks about, you know, one gave you life and one taught you how to live it. One gave you emotions and one gave you, you know, holds you when you're scared. I just love it because it gives a lot of acknowledgement to birth mamas and the fact that, you know, they gave their child different features, and that's okay. And there's things that, you know, your birth mom gave you and that your mama gives you. So I really liked this one. I thought it was really cute. I loved, again, the illustration style of this one. All right, last two. The Red Blanket was another international adoption story, and I find a lot of these books are international adoption based, which is fine, but if you have recommendations for more domestic adoption stories, I'm interested in that. I honestly just struggled to find them. My camera battery is blinking, so let me hurry up. So this one again is about an international adoption. This is about a single mama who went and got her baby from China, and I really love this one because it went through the entire process, the paperwork, the wanting, and the travel, and the going to the hotel room, and it talked about how, you know, her little daughter like was crying and then she got this red blanket and, you know, was happy, and I loved that it was the whole story. And it talked about how it was hard at the beginning, but they've grown and they love each other, and, you know, it started out at that dream and she had to work towards it. Again, maybe I just prefer some of the more realistic stories where, you know, they had a wish, they had a desire, they knew their baby was somewhere, they did the paperwork, they went and traveled, they got them. I like that kind of real story because you're gonna try to tell your child's real story to them. So I like that. All right, and real quick, my favorite one, because, oh, I'm a pragmatist, I guess. This is about a mama bear who adopts her son, but they go through a bunch of questions that the little baby bear asks. And the little baby asks about their birth mama and the color of their fur and all the paperwork and, you know, do all wishes come true? Why did this wish come true? I like that because it's a bunch of questions that maybe a kiddo doesn't think to ask, but having them in a cute little story already was really, I think it's gonna be a good launching point. And the way they answer the questions is, I think, good for parents too, especially when talking around birth parents. It's hard to sometimes be generic. Like in here it says, you know, for a lot of reasons, you know, birth mamas, you know, can't take care of their baby, and it uses a lot of a positive adoption language. So I wished for you, an adoption story by Mariana Richmond, I think might be my favorite. It's not my favorite illustrations, but I think it's my favorite story. So if you have recommendations for more adoption related books, leave them below. I think infertility related books are gonna be my next one to try to integrate into her library. If you have recommendations for those, leave them below. My copy of Little Dream is already on its way before you guys even think about it. It's a book by a fellow YouTuber, Celeste, that I will link down below as well, but it's coming from Australia for like a month now. So I desperately want to get my hands on it to read it. Looks gorgeous, but I am still waiting on it. So leave your recommendations below. And hit subscribe if you want to join on the journey. And until next time, ladies, keep on fighting. Mwah!